After Spider-Man decides to reveal his identity live, the Kingpin puts a bounty on Peter's head and his family. However, as luck would have it, Peter senses the sniper and pushes Mary Jane out of the way of the bullet, which saves her but ends up getting Aunt May hit. Extremely angry, Peter immediately runs out of the motel and throws the entire Jeep in the direction of the shooter. Afterwards, he runs back to Aunt May and desperately swings with her to hospital. While the doctors try everything to stop the bleeding, Peter suffers quietly outside the window until he realizes that there is still one thing he needs to do. Peter then puts back on his black suit and swears that he will find the person responsible for it. Later, after finding out who did it, Peter calls Fisk, who at the time was in jail, and tells him that that was the night of his death. And just as Peter promised, that night he breaks into prison, turning on all the lights and opening all the cells. Until finally he faces the king of crime face to face with all the prisoners watching. Fisk starts talking that he didn't expect that would be the place for his final fight, but Peter continues in silence, which annoys the Kingpin, who then starts mocking Peter for having dodged the bullet like a coward and let his aunt get shot instead of him. Suddenly, Spider-Man starts beating up Fisk, still in silence. However, the Kingpin of crime is still standing and still mocking Peter's desire for revenge, who responds with yet more attacks. Fisk then becomes furious that Spider-Man isn't talking much as usual, but Peter, out of nowhere, interrupts him and starts talking about his costume. Peter says that when he wears that costume, there are lines that he can't cross because that could destroy this that the costume represents. Taking off his mask and saying, "I'm not here to kill you, Peter Parker is." Going up against Fisk, Peter then starts the fight and simply humiliates Fisk until he falls to the ground, which is when he tells Fisk that he doesn't have any real power and that he's just a fat man with an attitude. Angry Fisk now jumps on Peter's neck with all his might, but Peter dodges everything and with a single punch knocks out the Kingpin of crime for good. Fisk on the ground mutters that he's going to kill him, but Peter shouts at him to get up, defeated. Fisk says that he can't do it. Then, Peter literally lifts him up by his breasts and slaps him 10 times across the face in front of everyone. Then, immediately, Peter opens Fisk's mouth and says that he's going to fill his entire body with his web, making him die slowly without oxygen. And as soon as Peter starts his count, everyone watches in horror. Until that second before doing what promised, Peter decides to just push Fisk to the ground, who this time implores to be killed soon. Peter says that he's really going to kill him, just not today, adding that on that night he did something even worse. He ended up with his entire reputation. Peter then swears to everyone that if Aunt May dies, whoever the culprit is will also go, saying goodbye and finally leaving the prison, leaving the king of crime defeated and broken, who returns to his cell crawling.